celebrating 15 years of this beloved foolery.
You know the difference between Jeff and Jeremy and a U.S. savings bond? One of them eventually matures and earns money. Jeff is such a douchebag.
Jeff and Jeremy in the morning on 93.3 KZOZ.
Yeah. Okay, so I brought in leftovers in mid-January. It was a chicken enchilada casserole. Really tasty, and my intention was to eat it for many lunches over the course of being here. Well, it was like the first week I came back from being sick from COVID. And
so we're talking over a month ago.
Yeah.
And it's been in the fridge the whole time. But you're not the first person to leave food.
No, I know, but I don't. So I have, that doesn't stop there. 2 weeks ago, I brought in a thing of spaghetti with the same intentions. So now I have 2 big containers of rotting food in the refrigerator. I do not know how to dispose of here. And I don't want to.
If you open that, what I would do if I had in your situation is I would have taken it home. Do you have a garbage disposal?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and put it down the garbage disposal. Or you put it in a bag and you take it straight out to the trash. Or you could bring it like a plastic bag in, or get one. I don't know where our plastic garbage bags are in the kitchen, and dump it in there and then tie it off. Or
and then put it in the trash can in the kitchen?
Real jerk. You could be a real jerk, and towards the end of the day,
just open them up,
dump it in the trash, and go home. And then the next day, they're gonna have to air out the building. They're gonna.
I don't know how to get rid of it. Remember when I made them
come in and steam clean all the walls, because all the walls in the building in the studios are
dusty.
Carpet. And I said, hey man, Jeff and I are like coughing. We got sore throats, so it's bad. And so I made them come in, and everybody had to take every picture. Anything that was attached to the wall down, and they did it. And then they asked me how I was doing. I go, it must not have been that. I think it's something else. They had a crew come in and work like 8 hours steam cleaning all of our carpets and walls. It was so funny. And now it's good to know that I could pass the torch to you, and you could be the refrigerator terrorist.
I don't know what to do with it.
The breakroom terrorist.
I don't even want to, it's like you with dog poop in the yard. I don't even want to deal with it. I want to take it out to a dumpster, but I don't think we have access to a dumpster here.
Can't you just...
Somebody comes and cleans it.
Whole Tupperware. It's in a Tupperware thing, right?
No, they're nice. Both of them are nice. I could clean them up.
Is it the glass ones with the plastic lids?
One is, yeah. No, they both are. They both are, yeah. Yeah, I can't get rid of those. Those are excellent. And I'm hoping they would have...
Not that expensive.
They would have limited the penicillin growth in them by having those seals on them, you know?
Yeah, this is the benefit of being able to talk about this in front of, thousands of people. And we have a text line, 805-543-3693. What should Jeff do with this rotting food that's been in the fridge for weeks, months?
And the problem is, I would take care of it if there wasn't always people around here. But this is 5. We have 5. The 5 best radio stations on the Central Coast are right here in this building, which means there are people in here at all times. So I can't do this. I can't do this discreetly. I can't be like, go stand in a corner and they're like, Jeff, what are you doing over there? Why does it stink? I'm like,
yeah. And the radio people,
dumping food,
which are the worst people because they're the loudest people.
Right.
So yeah, hey Jeff, what's that? What is that? Did you get that in the fridge? Is that you, bro?
I mean, I tried. I stay here
talking up Cisco and the thong song. Honey.
I stayed here. This is for the last 3 weeks. Okay, consecutive Wednesdays, Jeremy. For the last 3 weeks, I've stayed here till 6, thinking, okay, because my daughter's got gymnastics and it ends at 6. So I stay here and
wait till everybody leaves.
Wait, and so there's got to be a Wednesday in which everybody's going to be gone until. Nope, not the case, not at all.
Spending 4 hours in a box together every day can make you say crazy things.
Don't go crazy.
Jeff and Jeremy in the morning.
Dumbass of the Day right now brought to you by California Diesel and RV. They just put $1,000 up for our grand prize in the Red Zone Challenge, and they can fix your vehicle if it runs on diesel. If it's trucks and RV, your office fleets. Maybe you got a fleet. Maybe there's just a couple. Maybe you've got 10. No job too big, too small for the folks at California Diesel and RV. They're in Oceano, and you can link up. Check out their website. Go to kzoz.com.
How pathetic can some people be?
I'm sick of activists. Everybody's a activist in Los Angeles. Everybody's like an animal activist. I love animals too. But if I see one more person walking a dog with a coat on it, I'm going to stab him. I swear to God. That's the first sign of mental illness. You start dressing up your pets, okay? Take the snorkel jacket off the Chihuahua. The dog was born with a coat. He doesn't need another one. It's like giving an alligator false teeth. Leave him alone. We don't even have kennels now. We have doggy hotels in this country. Did you see this? We got people sleeping on the streets in this country, yet somewhere there's a poodle pissed off because a maid didn't leave a liver snap on his pillow last night. I got a lady that lives next to me that talks to her pets like she thinks they're human. She's yelling at her dog last week. She's going, "Did you hear what I said? Did you hear what I said?" I go, I think his hearing's perfect. It's the English language that's throwing him off a tad. Maybe he can't hear you because he's wearing earmuffs and a hat.
Dumbass of the Day. 93.3 KZOZ.
Does that make you mad whenever I play that open for Dumbass of the Day?
Why would it make me mad?
Because that is you. That is you with your dog.
What are you talking about?
I didn't realize it till you started working from home. But now, God, you guys missed the funniest thing. At some point in time, we have to put this video on, like we have to make it
record
accessible. But we can make it so it records. We just have to open up a new link every day because the best fail moment just happened about half hour ago. Jeremy's dog was
explain what happened.
Jeremy's dog was making him mad because he wanted to play, and Jeremy was like, "No." And Jeremy's got a coat that he puts on his dog to get him to shut up. And
it's a shirt,
or a shirt, whatever. I don't care. You shouldn't
a punishment shirt.
You shouldn't be putting clothes on dogs, anyways. But anyways,
well, no, we do it to punish him.
Okay,
when he's a jerk.
All right.
And so I'm sitting here trying to talk to you, and he's got his ball in his mouth, and he's shoving it on me, going because that's like his thing.
And Jeremy got frustrated and started running after him with this shirt to put the shirt over his head, and the dog thinks he's playing, so the dog takes off running. Well, Jeremy doesn't realize he's still got his headphones on his head. He almost pulls down his entire workstation because everything's connected to the headphones. And I was as you started running away, I wanted to say something. I was like, no, I'm going to see where this goes.
And the camera, the way I ran, Jeff could see the whole thing of the headphones just getting stretched all the way out and almost yanking me to the ground.
But you talk to your dog like that. You do. You talk to your dog like that. I'll run some tape while you're unsuspecting.
To my dog like that? Well, I'm like, hey, knock it off. I mean,
while you're unsuspecting, I will get some examples of how you talk to your dog like he's human.
Put shirts on him
like he's human.
Well, he's almost like a human. He
understands. See, there we go. There's the admission.
Well, you notice he's not here anymore. Yeah, he knows. He doesn't want the wrath of me. Anyways, this funeral home in Colombia apparently turns their deceased animals into fertilizer, and they're getting a lot of flack for it.
A pet funeral home in Colombia has an eco-friendly way of disposing of the dearly departed. It turns them into fertilizer. When a pet has died, they collect the body of the deceased. They'll make a paw print as a keepsake. Meanwhile, the home uses a natural process to break down the animal's remains with microorganisms. The resulting soil is then used to grow a plant or a tree.
All right. What's wrong with that?
I mean, it doesn't sound like it's that big a deal, but a lot of people are upset.
The soil
that their pets are being turned into fertilizer.
Yeah.
But you could take that fertilizer home and,
But do they give you the plant as the commemorative? Like if they're
I don't think they do. No.
Do they sell you the plant? They're like, oh, okay, like it's always so weird because like the last thing you want to sell job is on the departing of a loved one, but these places do it, whether it's cremation, whether it's a grave site, whether it's a coffin. I'm talking people and humans, or people and dogs here, humans and dogs, and cats and pets and whatever. But it's like, well, we could put it in a a little keepsake charm and make it into a ceramic piece, and then that will be part of the ashes. Plus, if you buy package C, your pet's remains will grow a lily every year, and then you'll know that your pet's remains are still contributing to life. Like that like you just, when you're in there, they got you. You're like, yeah, go ahead, give it to me.
Okay, I'm reading into the story here a little bit, and you know the people that are complaining and that are protesting this place, because that's what they're doing with signs like down there at the birthplace downtown SLO, where they don't like abortions. Those are the dumbasses of the day, because you're right. What these people do is they take the fertilizer, they grow a plant, and then they return that plant to the family. I remember when my dog died, it was terrible because I had to pay for the emergency room visit because we didn't know he had a stroke. We didn't know. He just collapsed. So we take him over there. He's got to get, oh my God, all this stuff. I think he was in an oxygen chamber. He ended up dying a few hours later. That was a $2,000 vet bill. And then you know what it costs to have your pet.
Isn't it like $1,000?
It was $1,500,
Jeez.
and then another $500 for the box that we put him in. Which I think anytime somebody dies and you charge them a bunch of money for their urn, that's just ripping off people that are emotionally,
So you
You're playing with
$3,500.
somebody's emotions on that.
Oh, I know. That's got to be like, if you are a salesperson, and you work
At a
in that
funeral home?
in that field, you have to have trouble sleeping at night. Yeah, how'd work go today, honey? Yep, I was sold somebody on a coffin today, so we're going to be taking a trip to Mexico.
Yeah, you people that are like, oh no, but I'm helping this family through a difficult time right now. Yeah, you are. Yeah, sure you are. Because you just upsold them $1,500 on the bronze package.
Do you know how many avocados $1,500 buys, even in this new avocado economy that we live in?
Even at $10 an avocado, that would still be a hell of a lot of avocados. So, good for these people. I think this is a great idea, because not only do they get the pop rent, but then they have a tree in their yard and say, hey, you know what? That's George.
No, I think that's kind of a cool thing. Like right now, I have my dog in a rock underneath our deck, and the rock's got a picture of him on it. I bought the rock like on Amazon or something like that, and I paid for the cremation, and I put the dog in the rock, and I think it would be cooler to have him be a plant or at the base of a tree, contributing to the tree. And it's all organic material in the end, right?
So congratulations to these protesters who are doing something that is just because they think it's their just cause. You are Jeff and Jeremy.
Dumbass of the day. It's Jeff and Jeremy in the morning on 93.3 KZOZ.
Yeah.
Hey, Jeff and Jeremy here. We got Eric Shantz on. It's the SLO Comedy Festival. I'm not going to forget it either because he's wearing the T-shirt. Eric, hey, welcome in, man. Thanks for jumping on with us.
No, thanks for having me. I appreciate it, guys.
We're so glad that this is coming back. You guys have kind of been the benefactors of scheduling. When you look at it, there's a lot of events. Like, this is the event coast, okay? And there's so many events have gone 3 years by event standards. Like, they've missed 3 opportunities to have their events. But you guys were like the last thing that we could do before everything shut down, and now you're the first thing that we can do when everything opens up.
Our festival ended 1 week before the world shut down.
Which was great timing, really, when you think about it.
Couldn't have been any better.
So let's talk about this year. I mean, we all know the Comedy Festival. If you don't know the Comedy Festival, if you're new to the area and you're not familiar with this, it just kind of takes over the Central Coast for about 4 or 5 days. It's what starts on Thursday, runs through Sunday, and you're going to be Paso Robles to San Luis Obispo.
Yeah, Avila Beach too, and then we moved a couple of venues. I've been having mild heart attacks for like the last 60 days. Just because of all of the jostling and moving things around and, venues changing and things like that. So it's been a little bit more of a challenge. Like, if you love doing events, before the pandemic, just add a pandemic and it just makes everything way more challenging.
What are you doing to treat these heart attacks? I mean, have you tried smoking weed at all, or?
I've just been trying to do as much Oxycontin as possible.
Oh, okay.
I've never done that one. I don't know the effect.
Helps for the sleep.
That one keeps you up.
Yeah.
Well, so anyways, I know there's all different kinds of shows too, and I mean you always go through that every year. I know there's an S show at the end. There's where everybody's drinking. Do you still do that, or is that COVID?
We did,
safe?
and we had to move that. Like literally 2 weeks ago. Like that's already printed in our books as being at Luna Red. Luna Red had staffing issues; they couldn't get enough people to work, so they're closing at 10. So we moved the show over to Sidecar on Broad Street there. So the show's still going on. The show must go on. So we just keep moving with whatever challenges are given.
Sidecar is going to be a great venue. I don't know if you've been in there or not, but they've done a really good job. Remember, Jeff? It was it was or what was it? It was
Grappolo. Then it was Brewing Company, and then it was now it's Sidecar, and the downstairs is awesome.
Basement, yeah. And then he put a ton of money into it. It looks like. I don't know. It looks like your dad's den in your mom's basement. And anyways, I think it'll be a really sweet spot for doing.
No, it's great. And we did the shows there when it was Creekside back in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Sirius XM recorded. They said that was the greatest room in the country to record comedy.
Oh, really?
Really?
Because it's just a bunker. It's cement walls and the laughter has nowhere to go.
Well, he put a lot of nice furniture in there, shelving on the wall and like cool old stuff. And he just dressed it up a little bit. It just,
it's gorgeous now. It's really, it's got a nice touch to it.
That's really cool. So what show's going to be there again? This is going to be the S show where everybody.
So Poison, that's the last show of the night's going to be there, but then also Pure Stand Up. So 8 o'clock and 11 o'clock will be shows there. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday is 8 o'clock. And Friday, Saturday will be 11 o'clock Poison.
And Poison, for those that are new to the festival or maybe have not heard us talk about it before, you try to get the comedians as drunk as you possibly can before they go up there and it's open mic, right?
I don't have to try too hard.
Eric Shantz is with us. So Comedy Fest is next week. You can get tickets at kzoz.com. There's also Best of the Fest, which we have tickets that you can text the word comedy into 805-543-3693. We're going to draw a winner. We're going to send you and a bunch of your friends to that show as well. But there's so many other great shows in between, and we've got links at kzoz.com. Eric, have you ever had a comedian that you've been on tour with that you finally just said, you know what? No, it's not working. It's not because they're not funny. Maybe it's just because they party too much or.
I had one guy. I won't say his name. We were doing shows. This is, probably 10, 15 years ago up in Montana. And the crowd just kept buying him shots on his act during his set. He did like 12 shots of tequila while he was on stage. And then we went back to our hotel room at the end of the night, and I just hear this loud commotion outside the hotel door and banging on my door. And I'm like, nope, not answering that door. Knew it was him. And then I think the cops showed up afterwards, and I was like, I think this is our end of our tour right here.
To be fair, anybody that does 12 shots of tequila would probably end up in the same predicament.
Yeah, I'd probably be in the hospital.
Do you know what that person is doing? Is that person still doing comedy now?
I have no idea. I really was just like, it was a very interesting week to say the least.
You left them in Montana, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was funny because during that show, the audience started heckling each other.
Right.
So there was like one table on one side, the other table on the other side. They're yelling at each other. And then after the show, they're just rolling around in the snow, fighting each other. Like it was like Yellowstone. A nutty week in Montana.
It was like Yellowstone. You took him to the train station. Eric is with us. Comedy is all next week. KZOZ.com to pick up your tickets.
I wanted to ask you, what's just the general overall, because all your friends are comedians. I mean, you have to deal with these guys. You're setting up the festival. You have to talk to them. So, I mean, you are blessed because you get to hang out with a lot of funny people. But what's the overall state of comedy right now with, coming off of a year of not being able to do, or more than a year of not being able to do a lot of what they do. And, you've had to switch to things like what we're talking to you now on an interface and these weekly meetups. And now you're able to get out and get that feedback from a live audience now. And just some of the things that you're allowed to say and not allowed to say. I mean, what is your feeling on the overall state of comedy based on the people you've been talking to?
Well, right now, everyone, since everything is going, and there's nothing better than a live audience. I mean, it's instant feedback. It creates the vibe in the room. doing things like this on Zoom or video conferencing, you lose that personal touch, and people laugh, yeah, and they enjoy the show, but it's nothing better than a live audience. And, it has been a struggle with people, watching what you say and what you can and cannot say. But, comedians are the first line of defense for the First Amendment. So if we get censored too hard, then everyone else is right behind us, and we're always trying to push that line to see what we can say. And I think a lot of people don't understand. And I think this is where people take recording devices outside of the room. Because when you're first working on a bit, you try everything and you see where the most offensive you can be and what's funny and what's not funny. And you're working that bit out. And sometimes if somebody records that and they leak that audio, it's like, well, this was terrible comedy. And it's like, no, you're watching a bit in development. And when you take that to HBO or The Tonight Show, you see that honed in where you go up to that line, but you pull back just a smidge. Right. And that's when you're seeing a polished joke. So I think right now the audiences are beyond happy to be back in the room watching the shows. And the vibe is it's way better than it had been in a while. It's almost like a 1980s comedy vibe feel right now, when it was just the rock stars of comedy back in the day. So I think that's where we're at right now.
Oh, that's good.
That's Eric Shantz. We're going to come back. We'll talk more about the Comedy Festival. We've got tickets to give away. Stick around.
Careful. You don't want to learn from this. Jeff and Jeremy in the morning on 93.3 KZOZ.
We got Eric Shantz with us. It's Comedy Festival, the SLO Comedy Festival, in its 11th year. I know that, every year you say that you guys love coming here. The comedians love coming up here. How many guys are repeats, Eric, that have been here year after year after year?
Well, I try to do it every other year, so we're not getting the same people every year. But of course, we had a year off, so I opened it up so everyone can come back up. So I think this year we have about 25 repeats and 15 new guys.
Jeff was kind of bringing up cancel culture a little bit earlier. Jay Leno said something last year, and I hate Jay Leno. I've just never been a fan of when he did the Tonight Show. I was a Letterman guy. But, he said, and you probably might be more familiar with than I am, he said, with cancel culture and everything going on, you just have to learn to adapt. It's 2021 now, and, you can't say the same stuff that you did, 10, 15 years ago. I mean, comedy's subjective, right? Doesn't like comments like that kind of piss you off a little bit? Like, there shouldn't be rules when it's comedy because it's jokes.
No, 100%. I mean, I did a show. Here's probably the prime example, but I did a show for a lot of kids that were like in college, and I think they just hear their trigger words and they don't hear the setup or the punchline. Once they hear that trigger word, they're done. That's like, well, you can't say that. It's like, well, you didn't hear the setup or the punchline, so you don't know what's going on. And it was a lot of just shaking your head like, you can't say that, you can't say that. And then I did the exact same set up in Oregon, and it was one of the greatest shows I've ever had in my entire life. So it went from one side of the spectrum to the other side, and I think it's, if you saddle in for the adventure, it's a great ride, and I think you have to listen to the whole bit and not just listen for certain things you want to be offended by. And I think Jim Norton said it probably the best. He said, everyone's addicted to being offended until it crosses their line. Mm-hmm. And I think that's where it's at right now. And he hit the nail right on the head. It's 100% what it is.
Out of curiosity, which bit did you do? You did the exact same bit in Oregon that you did at the college. Which one did you do first?
Well, it was in Oregon where I did it first.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry. It was the college that I did first. So I did that first, and it was just like, I know it's funny because I've been doing it. I've been doing comedy for, over 20 years now. So there's a lot of times when I get in the room, it's like, I know it's not me, it's you.
So regardless of your political beliefs or who you back or whatever your deal is, when you see something crazy going on in the country, and it's easy to poke fun at it. I feel like if you were a liberal and you're a conservative and you were making fun of Donald Trump, I feel like conservatives would just kind of laugh it off. But I feel if it goes the other way, then it's like they're very sensitive. Do you have to kind of gauge your audience politically, like wherever you're at?
Oh, yeah. You have your little tester jokes, like, you kind of go out and, there's like the first thing. So how about that mask mandate? And if there's a cheer for it, then it's like, all right, we're going this way. And if people are booing, then we're going that way.
Cross those next 4 jokes off. We got Eric Shantz with us. We're talking about the SLO Comedy Festival. It starts next Thursday, Paso to San Luis Obispo, out to Avila Beach. Over 20 shows, 40 plus comedians in 9 different venues, and we're going to have tickets here in a little bit to give away.
I just wanted to say
tickets to any of these shows, kzoz.com to link up.
I wanted to say, you're watching. I was watching the Super Bowl, and there's all these celebrities there, and we, as culture, we idolize celebrities because they have the ability to memorize lines and look good. Let's face it, that's why they're celebrities.
Well, thank you.
Well, you don't know exactly where I'm going with this. What I think is you guys are truly everybody involved in stand-up comedy and everybody involved in the festival. You guys do this out of passion because, it's hard work. You talk about I think Jennifer Lopez would be devastated if she stayed in a room with 30 people and they were against her for whatever she said on stage. It would probably ruin her, but you guys have thick skin and you guys are really the unsung heroes of entertainment in this country when it comes to that, because you're not afraid to stick your neck out there. And when we appreciate you guys doing what you do, and we appreciate the SLO Comedy Festival. I think it's just one of the greatest events that we have here on an annual basis.
Thank you, man. I appreciate hearing that. And there's things where, I worked with Richard Lewis one time, and on Thursday, we were doing 7 shows at the Pittsburgh Improv. His first show, he walked half the audience. His Friday shows were good. His Saturday shows were amazing, like just knocked it out of the park. And then Sunday, he just had a great time. And at that time, that was a guy doing stand-up comedy longer than I was alive. Mm-hmm. And to watch that, it was kind of like, okay, and that's where I said before, it's not me, it's you. And where the audience wasn't really in with him on the jokes, and it just never connected. And then whenever it got to like Saturday night, it was just a rip-roaring show. And to watch somebody fall flat on their face like that is just kind of amazing, especially at that point when he had been doing comedy so long.
Yeah, established, names on the marquee. People pay big bucks for the ticket to go to the show, right. And to see it happen like that, it must be kind of eye-opening. And you guys must love...
he was the draw. No one was coming there to see me. That's when I was pretty much brand new in comedy at that time.
You must love the unpredictability about that, though, right?
It's fun. There's sometimes where it's kind of like, it can get dicey in a hurry. I did a show in West Virginia where I just kept an eye on the mic stand the entire time because I thought I was going to need that as a weapon to get out. And but then there's other shows that's they want to carry you out and take you to every bar and introduce you to everybody in town, and so you have both sides of that all the time. And I think the biggest thing is comedians, to succeed, you have to be willing to fall flat on your face every night.
If you haven't been to the SLO Comedy Festival in the past 11 years, what are you doing? You got to get to it starting next week, Thursday through Sunday. Go to kzoz.com to pick up. It's the best therapy you can get, man. And Eric, we appreciate what you do to get this thing out here to San Luis Obispo.
No, I appreciate you guys, and we desperately need a laugh right now, and I've literally maxed out all of my credit cards to make this happen. So go buy 2 tickets.
kzoz.com to get hooked up.